Fall is definitely my favorite time of the year, and I absolutely love everything that comes with it, from the temperatures to the garden winding down to all the decor. So today we are going to be making a centerpiece in this doughboy that I scored, and we're going to put it out in the she shed. I'm also going to bring you along and show you some of the pots that I flipped, the decor in my house, how we're going to decorate the she shed. By the time we're done, if you are not inspired to go drag your tubs out and start decorating for fall, well, I haven't done a good job then. All right, are you guys ready to fall? Let's do this. If you're wondering where I got this doughboy, I actually picked it up at Hobby Lobby because you know all their fall is 40% off. So I ended up picking this up for like 25 bucks. Now I am not gonna drill holes in this. I'm actually gonna line it with plastic because I wanna be able to use it again. And what I put in here isn't gonna be in here long enough that it's gonna take root because it's just for fall. When I look at the measurements, it's about 22.5 inches long. It's 11.5 inches wide. And I got about 3 inches of surface to plant in. So what I did was I went inside and I just got a garbage bag and I'm just gonna line my doughboy with this, and I'm gonna add some soil to hold it in place. And then I'll trim it down at the end after I get everything in place. Hello, little cricket. Just jumped right out of there. Oh, there's another one. They're all over in my dirt. Oh, there's another one. Here's another one. Oh, come here. Up, 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 go, 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 go. Ah, not on me. Go that way. Go to the garden. Fly, be free. All right. Wonder how many more are in here. Let's take a look. Oh, there's one. They must have gotten in the bag that was in the garage. All right, that's all I see. All right, so I'm going to start with a layer of soil. This is just regular old potting soil. All right, now one of the things you want to take into consideration when you're doing a container like this is, one, you can knock off some of the dirt from your containers so that you can snug it down in there. Two, you want to mix textures so that it looks really good, and sometimes it is good to incorporate like with like and make a big massing of it, but sometimes it's nice if like you put a little pumpkin and you put it on either side of the pumpkin. Either way, it's a visual thing. You want to stand back and look at what you're creating as you're creating it and see where your eye goes. Does it go over here because there's a hole? Does it go over here because there's too much of one color and you need to break it up? Or does it go over here because it needs something, but you're just not sure what? So you need to move pieces in place and figure out what looks good to your eye. The other thing to keep in mind is, are you going to view this from every direction? So think about that when you're doing your placement. Do you need to walk around and take a look at it? Now, mine is going to be sitting on the center of a table, but the center of the table is really viewed from the front. Now, I'm going to keep in mind that I want to be able to visually have it look good all the way around, but I want my focal to be in the front as I walk into the she shed and I see this on my table. Oh yeah, this is going to be so awesome. So I don't know exactly what I'm doing or how it's going to come together. I'm just going to start placing things. And again, I'm going to visually look at it and do I like it? Because at the end of the day, that's what really matters. Do you like it? When I'm doing a shallow container like this that I'm going to put on a table, I'm always looking for different textures and colors. I want things that are going to last, that are shallow rooted, and that can handle being in the shallow depth of this doughboy. So what I did was I looked for plants that are the smaller containers. So these are all like 3-inch pots. Actually, some of them are a little bit smaller. I actually went and got some hens and chicks. I have a Hawthornia here. I have a Sempervivum, just a hen and chick. I have some string of tears. I have a beautiful coleus called Inferno. I have some of the euphorbia because I loved the two-tone color on the leaf to give me some textural difference. I have the firecracker marigolds. I have some more of the little kale, and they came in these itty-bitty containers. So I love these little ones when I can find them. This is a blue zinger. It's a carex, and we're going to put one of those in there. And then we have 2 different kinds of heucheras. This one is Palace Purple, and this one is called Dale Strain. I also have one pansy, and I found a pansy that actually had a little alyssum that was accidentally probably dropped in there with seed, and so we grabbed that one as well. So this is our collection of what we're going to be putting in, and I might use all of it, some of it, but I wanted choices. Now the other thing that I'm going to add in here will be pumpkins. And so I have some of these little bit of honey pumpkins, some little boos, and then I have some pumpkins to decorate around the doughboy once we're done and we put it on the table. All right, so let's start putting this together. I'm going to start with my tall pieces. I'm going to start with a coleus. This is the Inferno, and I'm going to take it out of the little container here. And I am going to break off some of the roots. That way I can snug it down inside. Okay, I'm not throwing this on the ground. I have my little pop-up bag down here. Okay, do you guys have a pop-up bag? If you don't, oh my gosh, I recommend you get one. I'll put a link for this one down below. I love this pop-up bag ever since I got it. But see, now it's a little bit smaller and I can work with it. And what I want to do is I kind of want to snug it in. Oh, I don't know if this is going to work on an angle. Okay, and I'm going to be packing my dirt around it. Nope, not going to work at an angle. I'm going to have to set it down. Okay, the other thing I need to do is bring my bucket of soil up here, because I'm going to need more soil. And so what I'm doing is I'm kind of packing the soil around it. So I place it in and I push all the soil this way. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to work from this direction over. All right, let me get my soil. All right, got my bucket of cricketless soil. All right, I'm going to add a little bit more in here. That way I've got soil to move as I'm working. So I'm actually going to do 2 of them together because I want to have a big impact right here of what this looks like. Oh, wait a minute. No plastic in there. Okay. All right. And I'm going to snug this one up. And they're kind of at an angle right here. All right. I like that. Right there in the back corner. All right. Now, one of the other things that you can do is when you're using cabbage and kale, you can always plant them at an angle. So I'm going to take one of these Nagoya Reds. This is a flowering kale. Can put them at an angle like this. You don't have to put them straight up and down. So what I'm going to do, because this guy, he will grow, believe it or not, and even in this little bitty bit of shallow dirt, but I'm going to snug him up in here. And then what I want to do is, see, I'm going to snug up a pumpkin in there with him. Okay, so now I've got him, I've got my pumpkin in there. Now I need something over here. And I want something that is a different texture or a different color. See, I have a lot of like darker colors. So now I want a lighter color. So this is where maybe you want to play around. And I'm going to take a coral bell and I'm going to put that coral bell in there. Do I like that in there? Do I want to put it back? Do I want to put it forward? I actually like it right there. And that's one of the things when you're doing a container like this, you want to snug stuff in. So again, I want that contrast. So I'm going to pick my spurge or my euphorbia. This is an ascot rainbow. Now, I could take this out of the pot when I'm done and plant it in the ground. I don't know that it would have enough time to get roots developed. Try to save the heucheras and the euphorbia. I'll probably put them all in one pot when I deconstruct this and put them in the garage and then keep them watered through the winter. So you might or might not get them to survive. Flip a coin, but you're not out anything if you do try that. Next, I'm going to put my pansy in. Now, this is in a little bit of a bigger container. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to knock off a lot of the soil so that I can snug it down in there. Now in here, there are there's 3 different pansies in here. And I could break them apart and move them around. We'll see how well they come apart. And then I'll decide whether or not I'm going to do that. But right now, I'm just going to pick off some of this dirt. Take this tag out. And this is a pansy. It's just a blue with a blotch. So it's not anything fancy. You can probably find this at a box store or garden center. Probably someplace there. That came apart pretty good. So there's one. There you go. Now I have 3 pansies to work with. All right. So now I know I'm going to put a pumpkin right there. So I'm just going to pull that out just so I don't get it all dirty. And I am going to drop one of these pansies right up here like this. And what I'm doing when I dig down into the doughboy, I'm digging all the way to the bottom. Hi, little squirrel. It's like Animal Day around here. I saw chipmunks earlier. Now there's a squirrel. He's like 10 feet away. Hi, guy. Wish I had an acorn to throw at you, but I don't. All right, so here we go. So I snug him in there. All right, so I know I have a pumpkin there. I'm probably going to put a pumpkin there. So I want to plant something right here on the other side of the pumpkin. So I'm going to take my Sempervivum and I'm going to groom it up because I do have some leaves at the bottom that aren't looking real great. And you just pinch those out of there. And there's nothing wrong with your plant if it does that. I am going to rip off the bottom and kind of break the root system up a little bit. And again, I'm going to tuck it in there at an angle. Okay. And then I'm going to take another pumpkin and come up here next to it. All right, I love everything about this right now. So the next thing I want is some more texture. So I think I'm going to go with, let's see. We're going to just dump a little more dirt in here so I can get that out of my way. And I think I want to come down here with a pansy. So I'm going to come right here with a pansy, right here by the pumpkin, and then I'm going to come in front of that with this Hawthoria, or Hawthoria, I'm not sure how you say it, but I'm going to tuck that right in there. Okay, and then right down here, I'm going to do another cabbage. And then I'm going to stop, and I'm going to walk around, and I'm going to take a look at it and see if I like it. All right, so right now I'm liking it. I actually pulled this up a little bit and tucked some dirt underneath it so that it wasn't down inside. And you can do that. You can create areas where maybe it's a little bit higher. I also ended up putting the second pansy back here so it was more of a visual area right there. And I love the little alyssum coming out the side. Now, the one thing is I don't think I want two of the white pumpkins here. I actually think I'm going to be putting in an orange one instead. Pull that out, and I love the stem on this. All right, I think I'm going to put the marigolds right here or maybe right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of set them in place and decide, do I want my height here or do I want my height on either end? But I do know I want to group them together. So do I want it here or do I want it here? I think I actually want it here. I'm kind of looking in the camera. All right, I think this is where I want it. So we're going to plant this up. We're going to move the dirt. That way I can get all the way to the bottom of the doughboy. And again, I'm going to, I know you're like, oh my God, I can't believe you're ripping those off. It'll be okay. So I'm going to tuck him in right here, grab some dirt, tuck that in, make another hole all the way to the bottom. Okay. And then I'm going to tuck that. Oh yeah. I love the red and the purple together. All right. And then I'm covering up those roots. I think I want a cabbage back here, so that they're spread out. And if I do walk behind, I can see it. So I think I want the cabbage here. And I want a little texture here. So I think I'm going to put this here, maybe in front, and another pumpkin right here. Yeah, I like that. All right. See, you just kind of figure out where you want to put stuff. Put it around. Okay, so I tucked one in right there. Now I have this little carex too, and I think I'm going to tuck the carex in here on the corner. I only have a couple plants left. In fact, I'm going to end up using all of them. Do I want to put that there or do I want to put that there? I think I'm going to put it here, and I'm going to put my last heuchera over here. Oh yeah. Okay, I like that. And then I've got to figure out how I'm going to fit this guy in there because he's a pretty big pot, but I should be able to break him down. And I don't know that I want the whole thing. So I could actually take this guy. Oh yeah, he's very shallow rooted. And I could break him in half. Let me do this over here. All right, I have broken this down to almost nothing. See, and I can tuck it right in there. Oh, I like that. I might have to find a place for him in the front too. And you know what? I need one more thing right here. And I think I'm going to get a cabbage because then I can kind of come around like that. The next thing I'm going to do is I am going to cut the plastic off, and I'm just going to go around the edge with my scissors. I am going to leave a little bit of an overlap just so that when I water it, I don't really want to ruin the doughboy. Now, granted, I only paid $25 for it, but I like it. I want to use it again. But you can see that I do have some blank spaces in here. Now, you can fill in these blank spaces with moss. But if you're doing this and putting it outside, I guarantee you the birds will come in and steal all the moss, and so will squirrels and chipmunks and everything else. So what I'm going to use is lotus pods to the rescue. So I am going to be inserting some lotus pods in here instead. And they'll add some textural difference in here for me. And they're going to fill in my blank spaces. So there's one there. And if you want more color, I just want a natural look, you could always paint these, okay? but I kind of just want a natural look. So see, I have my blank spaces right here where I could see dirt all filled in. And if I turn it around, because that's the back side, I'm going to look at the front side and I'm going to go, okay, I want this to lean out a little bit more. I actually think I want to tuck one in right here, so I'm going to look for a smaller one. Come here, and I'm just breaking the stems off, and I'm going to tuck that right in there. Do I like that? Yeah, actually, I don't know. No, I don't know that I do. I think I like the pumpkin in there, and I'm going to put the pumpkin back instead. And I do have, though, some dirt sticking out over here, so I'm going to maybe tuck him in there. I just know from experience that I want to put moss in here to like soften that edge. I just know that I'm inviting animals to come and take it. All right, I do have down here, I've got some space, and right here. So I'm going to take another one and I'm going to tuck it in right up here like that. Oh, I do like that. And I have room on the end for one more. So if I turn this here, I'm going to tuck another one in right there. Okay, still got my carex in there. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my scissors out and I'm going to start cutting. Be careful around if you're using something like this, that you don't cut them. We just did a few containers at the house. We did a little sweet one here on our milk can. This one is just heuchera, little cabbage, and a little grass. We just repeated that and did a ring around the grass. Check out the calamint though. This thing has been blooming forever. This is 3 plants, looking absolutely fabulous. And oh my goodness, it is a bee magnet. They are all over this thing. I don't know if you can see the activity in there or not, but there's got to be 50 to 60 to 70 bees on there right now. And then if you swing up, you've got our beautiful 9-bark here. And then look at the Autumn Joy sedum. Also swarming with bees and pollinators. It's just absolutely fabulous. Oh my goodness. All right, then we come up over here and the plain and the blue salvia. Yeah, I will plant that again. It's so awesome. Bees all over that too. But what I really wanted to show you were the pots that I did up here. Again, we kept it pretty simple. We did a tara grass in the center with some bigger Nagoya rose cabbage, and then we just ringed it with that purple heuchera and the pansies. Kept it really simple. But look at that angelonia in the background, and then it's flanked on either side by some violet night alyssum. Absolutely gorgeous. This has been my favorite pot this year, and I'm leaving it alone for fall because it does have a fall vibe. We've got the Surefire Cherry Cordial begonias in here, along with the Wicked Witch Coleus. That's from the Color Blaze series. Absolutely gorgeous. And then we threw in a Wedding Train trailing Coleus in there, and this pot is glorious, and we're leaving this one alone. We'll just walk down the sidewalk real fast. I am not changing out these pots, even though they are spring colors. They look so good, and I just love the vibe they give off. So we're leaving these alone as well and just letting them bloom their heads off until a frost takes them out. As we come around the corner, we are ready to plant up our 2 hypertufa pots. We have had zero luck getting the moss to grow. I've tried a couple different ways. So for this year, I'm going to give up on it, and I'm going to try again next year. But we're just going to plant up some little mums in those. And we redid our pot back here. And again, I just used a Gamma Little Blondie. I love the little tassels on there. Grass in the middle that I can dig out and plant in the landscape. I also have some chocolate orange Rebecca. These are just an annual Rebecca, but they'll bloom for a little while longer. And then I just did a ring of the cabbage around the outside edge with pansies. And again, it's the apple cider mix. I really like that mix. It's so pretty. So we just went around. And I know you see dirt in here now, but this will actually grow and fill in this pot. And we'll probably leave this one up through the winter. We'll see how it goes. If we have a mild winter, it'll hang out. If we have a hard winter, it'll take it out. But either way, liking this one a lot. One thing I wanted to show you as we're heading over to look at the last set of pots, check out the Fruit Punch Little Lime Hydrangeas. These are gorgeous. Look at the color on that. They have colored up so beautifully. Absolutely love them. In the pots that flank the front porch, I planted these little 9-barks. These are Summer Wine Black. And as you can see, they are starting to stress a little bit. Totally my fault. It's a watering issue. And I decided to pull them out, and we're going to put them in the landscape, get them watered in, and then they'll settle in, go dormant, and then come back next year. But I loved them in my pots this year, but I flipped them out for fall. Let's take a look at those. These are the pots that the 9-barks were in, and I loved that all summer, but I love this too. We ended up putting a mum in the back, and I did it in the back, and I planted it a little bit high. That way I can pull it out when it's done blooming, and I can switch it out for a different color. I got a little metal pumpkin that I stuck in there, and I'm loving the blue and purple pansies in there with the Nagoya red kale. We threw a little carex in there, and you can see I'm repeating plants over and over again. That way everything that I have kind of ties together, and as you go through the garden, you kind of see a repeat of the same thing, so it kind of brings your fall all together. All right, so there we go. Those are the pots. I hope you enjoyed the video today. You're inspired to go make some pots and change out your decor. I'm going to leave you with a little slideshow to music of the decor inside the house and on the porch. Hopefully this will also give you some ideas and get those fall vibes really rolling for you. I definitely got my hands in the dirt today. I hope you do too. We will catch you in the next video, and I will leave you with some beautiful decor. Bye everyone.